Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Build Arendelle. So far we've got a lot of the towers up, we've got the platform that we're going to build the castle on, and we've made some serious headway and work has begun on the walls around the edge of the castle. Now what I want to try and do this episode is get all of those walls complete. You can see here the little plinth that leads out, the sea wall that's going to hold our lighthouse. For the time being we haven't built that yet. Now, big thanks to Rev Chuckles for this cool Elsa skin that he's done for me. It's looking pretty good. And it also suits the build quite well because, well, hey, this is Elsa's castle. This is her kingdom. Now, to start with, we're going to start with this square tower building on the edge of the castle of Arendelle. Now, unlike every single other tower, this is this is a square tower, not a round cylindrical tower like we're used to. And once again, as I've mentioned before, there isn't all that much detail to the sides of the walls of this tower. So what I've done is just simply build up with stone brick these big flat walls, and then as we see fit, what we'll probably do is etch a little detail into it at the end just to make it look a bit nicer. One of the things I'm constantly reminded of this build is that the castle in the Disney movie is a set more than a building built for the sake of building an architectural building. So it's not built for function, it's built very much to look good from certain angles and in certain scenes, but beyond that, it's not really a functioning castle. But anyway, what I've done is I've continued the wall along from the front tower all the way to this square tower that we've built up. Now, the wooden roof on the square tower is slightly offset from the roof on the wall to the right. Now, it's the same angle and the same incline, but it's kind of skewed from the roof on the wall. And it reaches up longer on one side. So what I've done is I've built that roof, and here you can see the pretty much finished piece. It's quite a long roof with not much detail on it. Again, one of the characteristics of this build is that most of the roofs and most of the walls and the sheer surfaces don't have all that much detail etched into them. And we can get away with doing that a lot because this texture pack is so awesome. But what I'd really like to do is come back and add a little more detail after the fact, just to make it look a little bit better in Minecraft, and maybe even improve upon Elsa's castle. So now with the roof in place, I built the second section. This tower, at the top of the tower, there's crenellations, as you can see me building here, with etched stone brick and stone brick step. But also there's a smaller building on top, which grows into the roof. Now also there's a very thin tower on top of this building. So what I'm doing here is, out of stone brick, adding a very thin 3x3 tower with a very, very tall peaked blue roof. Now, it took me a while to get something that looked okay, and even then I came back and decided that, well, this isn't quite what I'm looking for, but I'll leave it as is because I'll come back and add another tower at the end anyway. And it's actually too close to the edge of the roof there, so I'll need to move it to make room for the other tower. Now again, this roof is really big around the back of the castle. It's really long, really flat, really steep. So I stuck a load of wooden stairs to create that kind of V-shaped roof. But on the side facing the sea, it isn't quite as steep. Or at least it doesn't seem to be in all the pictures I've looked at. So I came around, and first things first, I'm going to build this large tower. There's a very tall tower that doesn't really have too much detail. It's basically just a tower with a blue roof on top. And again, it's nowhere that the cast or the characters actually go. So it's really just a piece for decoration. And so at the moment, all I've done is I've built up that tower and given it a peaked roof. Now putting this in meant I had to make way by deleting that already small tower that I built on top of the little hut section on the top of the other square tower. So I came back, chipped away at more of the roof, and out of stone brick, added again in that thin peaked tower. Now, because the scale's gone quite small here, it's very difficult to get the exact look that I want from this tower. But once I found something I was happy with, I stuck with it and accepted that we weren't going to get any better from that tower, and moved back over to the wall to complete that wooden peaked long wall roof canopy section. And again, there's nothing special here. It reaches across and connects to that small drum tower, or rather that very large drum tower on the corner. But I wanted to add a bit more detail into the wall facing the sea. So I continued our same motif that we have with the etched stone brick pillars here coming down. But I added a bit more bracing and leaned out a little bit more. As you can see, the stone brick kind of staggers back in a kind of upside down pyramid effect back onto the wall, and I used upside down stone brick steps to add a bit of corrugation and bracing underneath the pillar sections. Now here on this weird kind of inclined sideways bit of wall, I'm just going to use the magic of editing to show you the before and after of me adding in the exact same kind of style of roof and wall that we have around the rest of the castle. Don't worry, it's not magic, I'm just using the magic of editing. And there we go, that's pretty much all the walls and towers, bar that kind of missing chunk on the right that's not quite loaded properly. The whole castle is complete except for the last and most important, arguably, section of wall. And that's the wall around the front that holds the front gate, which connects the bridge to the castle and to the rest of the town. So I pasted in, again, a copied section of the wall on the left of the castle. Now I know it's going to be very different, the entrance, but this is the finished pasted in wall with the same design and the same motif. Now I had to come back, add the bridge. Now I'm not going to build the bridge first. What I am going to do is build rough framework for how high the bridge is going to reach. Because we're going to have to elevate that door slightly so that people can come from the bridge, because it's a flat plane from the edge of the bridge to the door. Now I had to chip away at the roof connecting to the tower section in the middle here, and I also had to delete the roof and the top of that tower. I pasted this in as a placeholder kind of rough guide for how I was going to build it. But what the rooftop does here, what the front tower does, the tower that has the main gate on it does, is it becomes a little bit fatter at the top. It's very wooden, and also it's got a kind of white kind of plaster with wooden plank panel effect, very kind of Tudor planks on the top of it. So I wanted to make sure we captured that. I had to raise the door section here. Now the door looks very, very tall. Don't worry, we're going to be trimming that up when we build the floor from the bridge to the front door. But here you can see me using the new quartz blocks. Now these are kind of just a white quartz effect, but braced with wooden planks for a cool kind of fantasy Tudor look. And you can play around with the connected textures a lot here to get a design that you're happy with. Now I sunk that in by one block into the tower to give it a bit more depth and detail, copy and pasted it around the edge of the tower, and then began work on the roof at the top. Now the roof starts up quite high and it hangs down, so I wanted to maintain that effect of a kind of canopy square roof, but it's still very much a pyramid roof with 4 even sides peeking up without any kind of curvature at all. And here we skip forward to see the finished roof. And the wooden roofs at the side slope up and connect to the tower. And now finally you can see me here coming down to the bridge, and I'm filling in the wall section and adding some slab floor towards the main gate. And I've brought the main gate up. Now this is about as high as the main gate's going to be. But if you look at the detail on the main gate inside, it's got a kind of chevron effect with lighter wooden blocks. So we're adding that in, and we added in also some pillar sections around the front of the gate. And of course, finally finishing up with a small kind of dark grated window at the top front of the castle gate tower. Oh yeah, looking pretty good. And using glass panes to finish up with that crosshatch effect. Right, there we go. Oh, doesn't the reflection look beautiful on the water there? That's the sea wall, and the wall facing the sea also. And as the camera pans up, and around and zooms out, you can see we've done all of the wall section. Now the outside is mostly complete. We might be adding some detail to that square tower there. We also might be coming back, raising some rocks around the outside, some mossy kind of weather-beaten rocks to add to the design and the motif. We're also going to be building the inside castle as well. Next episode, what I really want to tackle is the bridge that leans out towards the mainland, the lighthouse, but then I want to get started on the foundations of the castle itself, the main castle of Arendelle. Not the walls and the towers outside, but the main housing section that Elsa and Anna live on. But I've been Sjin, and this has been Let's Build Arendelle Part 3. We've finished up all of the outside walls and the towers, and we're making some serious progress and some serious headway. So hit like and favorite and subscribe if you like Let's Build and you want to see more. That's important. And I'll see you guys next time for some more Let's Build. Take care.